If your to-do list is running your life instead of the other way around, it's time to flip the script. Today, we're diving into my Get Shit Done system, my tried and true method of helping busy working moms simplify, prioritize, and actually get shit done without the stress at the end of the day. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, I'm Brianne. I'm a mom of 4 little kids, teacher of students with special needs, and a health and productivity buff. And this is the Get Shit Done podcast, where I help busy moms learn to get shit done in their lives through everyday tangible productivity tips and tricks that'll be sure to help you get shit done. Whether you're a busy working mom inside or outside the home, I'll share my how-tos and my step-by-step strategies you need to prioritize what's important in your life and create the energy you need to follow through. Now, grab your earbuds and join me for a mom chat while you're doing the dishes, folding the laundry, or exercising with your kids. And let's get shit done together.
Hey guys, welcome to another week of the podcast, and we're kind of heading into spring here, which is so nice. The snow has more or less melted now. We've had enough rain. However, you know how March can be very tricky, and before you know it, you could have another snowstorm around here. So I'm not, feeling like we're out of the woods just yet, but there's enough of hope on the horizon because daylight savings is this weekend, which means that we're going to have longer, brighter evenings. And of course, I'm heading into March break this week, so I am very excited about that. Some fun things planned with the kids. So I just feel lots of hope on the horizon. And when we do this, we can sometimes look around and feel completely overwhelmed and full of chaos when we see the state of our lives after the hibernation of the winter. And that can incite some chaos and feelings of overwhelm, right? So today, I kind of wanted to chat a little bit about how you can tackle that with my Get Shit Done method and how we can really apply this to our current situation and actually just get shit done at the end of the day. So today in this episode, I'm going to share with you a few things. You're going to learn about the Get Shit Done system. You're going to stop getting stuck in your day when you see that overwhelm creep in. You're going to learn how to fit this system into your day, and along with that, you'll know what to do when you feel overwhelmed. So let's get into it. So you've probably heard me share before, my Get Shit Done system was born out of chaos and overwhelm and just a want of not wanting to feel like that anymore. And, in other parts of my life, maybe it's because I'm a teacher, type A kind of mom, that a systematic approach to something really put my mind at ease. When it came to planning, I would buy a new planner and I'd feel like I'd fall into this planning situation. It would help, alleviate that overwhelm at the beginning. But I really had to figure out a way to systematize my life, I guess. When I had 4 little kids at home, it was COVID. I had to work while the kids were going to school, and I had to teach them school as well, and kids were running around. Anyway, I needed a way to kind of get my shit together. So I really just tried to zoom out and look at it without any kind of emotion attached and come up with a way that I could switch my brain into this method of getting something done without the emotion attached to it, without the overwhelm, without the chaos. So that's how the Get Shit Done method was born. And really what this method does, the biggest thing that it does, it just helps you to be urgent with your decisions and prioritize effectively with something that you can actually get done and check off the list. And in the end, what happens is your brain then learns to feel that success from this system. And that's how this system really does help us in the moment of overwhelm, because we don't have to use our thinking brain. We can go through the checklist. So like I just mentioned, the biggest part of this system, this Get Shit Done system, is learning how to prioritize. That's what I'm going to chat about right now. We kind of talked a little bit about this last week. Prioritizing is easier said than done. And one thing I've learned is that you really have to be able to shift those priorities based on your ever-changing mom life. A kid is sick today, so the priorities that we thought last night were going to be our priorities are no longer our priorities, or the priorities we set out with at the beginning of the day are no longer the ones at the end of the day, and that's okay. So a system that helps you to determine your priorities is super important. And the thing I love about the Get Shit Done system is that you can do it at any point in the day. You can even do it more than once a day if your priorities tend to shift throughout. So the biggest part of this when it comes to prioritizing your day is you're going to want to know how much capacity you have to get shit done. And I'm going to talk about that right now because that is what I'm kind of experiencing right now. It's the day before March break. I have lots of work I could do. I'm kind of feeling that burnout. So I know when I go home today, I'm not going to have a lot of capacity to do the things I would do to set me up for a successful weekend today, because it's a different day. We're getting ready to get on a break here, and I'm just, my brain is broken. So I know that the things that I set out for my priorities for this evening when I get home are going to have to be different and adjusted based on my capacity to get it done. So going into it, thinking that, knowing that, means that I'm going to be successful because I'm going to choose things that I can actually accomplish. And that is the biggest thing when it comes to this system. It's teaching you how to adjust those priorities based on your capacity, the time you have, and really what you want to feel at the end of the day. So that's what I teach in this system. And when you get my free Get Shit Done checklist, it walks you through it, how to do that step by step. You end up getting pretty good at it after a while, and you're able to do it without the checklist, but the checklist breaks it down and teaches you in your brain of what to look out for to prioritize successfully. So I don't know about you, but what could happen to me is I end up getting stuck in the busy work. So if I just come home and I see all the mess, first of all, I get cranky and angry and I start blaming everybody else in my head. Why'd you leave this here? And how come you didn't pick up after yourself? You couldn't even put the dishes in the dishwasher. And then I start walking around and I'm trying to put dishes in the dishwasher. I'm trying to pick up this thing. I'm getting a kid to hang this up, and I'm tripping on a toy, and I'm trying to take out supper, and you're doing all the things. And those are all things that kind of quote unquote feel like you need to get done. But that's a sign of overwhelm, first of all. And that's when we need to really lock into this system, because then you're going to determine what's important in that moment to get done, and you're automatically going to start to feel better. So having the system in place and learning the triggers you have in your mind and body to like trigger enacting the Get Shit Done checklist is going to be super helpful, and it'll allow you to stop getting stuck in the busy work. So when you feel those overwhelmed feelings creep in, it's different for everybody, but like I explained, the blaming of other people for me and the only seeing all the things that need to get done, that's kind of trigger for me for overwhelm. So I know that's when I need to start the checklist, and that helps me to stop getting stuck in the busy work. So as I mentioned at the top of the episode, the cool thing about the Get Shit Done checklist is that you're able to fit it into any point of your day, and that's what makes it flexible for busy working moms. You can use this multiple times a day. You can stretch this out throughout your whole day. It's whatever you need it to be, and it's flexible, and you need to be able to do it your way. So because you're able to prioritize, you can start at the beginning of your day and think about, at the end of the day, when I put my head on my pillow, what do I want to have checked off on my priority list today? Those are the things that you want to consider for your top 3 priorities. But say you have an hour after work and you have stuff you have to get done. Maybe you're going to use the Get Shit Done checklist in that amount of time to accomplish 3 small tasks. It's adaptable, and you can do that as well. And that's why I say that it's possible to get shit done at any point at any day, because you can adjust those priority based on the amount of time you have, based on the capacity you have in your brain, based on, what else you have going on in your day, and you can be flexible with it, and it teaches you how to do that. So that's why this system can fit into your day and anybody's day multiple times a day if you want to help you feel like you're getting shit done. So like I also mentioned before too, you're going to be learning about yourself through all this. I've learned about myself, throughout this whole process, and I continue to learn about myself as new things arise, right? We look back at old experiences and use that to help us to navigate new ones. But we all do kind of have these similar habitual things that happen when we start to feel overwhelmed. So I want you to take stock of what those are for you. What are those triggers for you? What feelings do you have in your body when you feel overwhelmed? What thoughts do you have in your brain when you feel overwhelmed? What's going on around you? What are the other people in your house doing? What is causing you to feel that way? What are certain things that might, have that come on very quickly? those are really important things to learn about yourself so that you can use them as triggers and know what to do. And then we don't have to use our thinking brain. So for example, like I mentioned, I walk in, I have a messy house. Number one, I'm tired. Number two, the house, quote unquote, looks messy. But side note, if I walked in at a different time of day and I wasn't tired, that may not seem messy. Do you know what I mean? It's all in our perspective and our capacity at the moment. So you walk in, you're triggered by the mess, you're tired as it is, you're overstimulated, it's loud, the kids are running around screaming, you trip on something. Those feelings, the rage, the upset, the crankiness creeping in, that's all overwhelm, and that is a really good time to use that in your brain as a trigger to get straight to the get shit done checklist. Until you learn how to do it automatically, just save it on your phone and then you can look it up and you don't have to think, you can just follow the steps. So I want you to connect overwhelm with productivity. I want you to connect overwhelm with when I feel this way, I do this thing. And if you do that enough, it's going to be a habit in your brain and you know what to do and you don't have to think about it anymore and you don't have to get stuck in that overwhelm procrastination loop that we have been, we can find ourselves in. Sometimes when I would feel those overwhelmed feelings creep in, instead of getting cranky and rage cleaning, I would stop and I would just get lost in a scroll because I just didn't want to deal with the feeling. So once we learn that about ourselves, we can kind of notice those little habits that we might do and help to change them. And this Get Shit Done checklist is a real great way to just fall into following the steps so you don't have to really think. You don't really have to do any more work because, let's face it, we don't have any time to do any more work. So I want you to ditch that to-do list. I want you to stop putting all the things that you think you're going to get done on a list for the day. I want you to look at that and think about your top 3 that you want to get done by the end of the day. I want you to make it into an actionable, reasonable amount of time to accomplish it. And I want you to think about your capacity in your day, in your life, in your brain to get that done. And that's really going to be a game changer. It's going to save you hours of stress and overwhelm in your week. And a to-do list is seriously the biggest mistake that a lot of us busy moms do because it's a direct correlation with overwhelm. It's like, let's take the overwhelm on our brain and put it on a paper so we can then visually see how much we have to do that we can't get done. So I suggest just thinking about 3, writing it down, choosing an amount of time that's reasonable, thinking about the capacity you have, using a timer, pairing it with something rewarding to do while you're doing it, like a podcast or watching a show. And then, add a little bit of incentive for yourself when it's done. I hope that was helpful for you. If you want more of this, listen to some other episodes of the podcast, but also please join me at the Moms Get Shit Done Club. You can find it in the link in the description of this podcast, and it's a way that we can all connect together. You can get extra trainings. You can work with me one-on-one in there and get lots of support around creating these systems, habits, and routines in your life. Take care.
Well, that's it for me today. I'm likely needed for some mom duties right about now. Thanks so much for joining me for a chat, and let's do it again soon. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Brianne_McKenzie123 for more tips and tricks on how to get shit done.